Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to share a gift with you all today. Today, I'm going to share the magic of the art of asking the right questions. So let me start and set the scene for you. I'm from the most beautiful part of the world, Ballyhaig in County Kerry in Ireland. I go there to reflect, or if I've something important to decide. The sound of the waves in the backdrop, as well as my grandfather's fabulous saying in my mind. I think of his saying, which is, you need 3 bones to enjoy the journey of life. You need a wishbone to dream the dream, you need a backbone to work hard and make it happen, and you need a funny bone to enjoy the lighter side of life. I adore that saying. It helps me to reflect and refocus and brings me back to think about what's most important. So as you listen to me for the next few minutes, I invite you to quieten your mind of all other thoughts and to think deeply. Are you dreaming your dream? Are you working hard to make your dream a reality? Or are you just being busy being busy? And are you enjoying the lighter side of life and having fun and enjoying your one and only life? They're great questions, aren't they? They're questions that deserve time for us to press pause and think deeply and listen to those answers, because the answers could change your life, because time and tide wait for no one. Time is our most valuable resource in the busy lives we live. But we're all time poor. If it's important enough, we make time for it. If it's not, we make an excuse. So when you think about how do you spend your time, I invite you to reflect and think, are you happy? Having lived through a pandemic, what will you do differently? And what's stopping you? These aren't easy questions, but it's really important that we ask ourselves these questions now, because the answers will present an opportunity to change our future. It's great to ask questions of our past to take learnings, but it's even more important to ask questions of our future so that we get into the driving seat of the destiny of the next chapter of our lives. Time and tide wait for no one. What an exciting opportunity for us all to really reflect and make our time really, really important. In terms of the past tense, we don't want to look back and think when it's too late, what would I have done differently? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I take that opportunity? Because then it's too late. It's not easy, though, asking ourselves these really deep, meaningful, game-changing questions. So be kind when you ask yourself, and be kinder when you hear those answers. Because remember W.B. Yeats's fabulous saying, which is, tread softly because you tread on my dreams. Children have the power of curiosity as a natural wonder within them. I have 2 nieces and a nephew who I absolutely adore. And they ask questions without any thought. They really challenge me when they ask those questions. They ask things like, why is the sky blue? How are stars formed? Why are you so old? And why don't you get another dog? These to them are simple questions that need to be asked and deserve an answer. But to me, the question of why don't I get another dog pulls every heartstring and emotional chord within me. But as I say to them, they're just simple questions they're curious to hear the answer to. It's really important that we feed our minds with the best of positivity, the best of knowledge, and are really open to learning. It's also really important that when we're talking to ourselves, we're really kind and positive because we are listening. I grew up in a house where my mom said, "Caroline, you can be the president." What a powerful self-belief to be instilled in you from being a child. And my mom today still instills that self-belief in us, which is an amazing gift to give to anybody. That power of listening and giving people that opportunity to believe. When we think about our best philosophers, best entrepreneurs, best innovators, they all share the gift of the art of asking amazing questions. They don't accept the here and now as acceptable. They're constantly thinking about what could be better, how can they improve things, and why is that problem not yet solved? As we think about what's stopping us, we often think of things like blue sky thinking and brainstorming, but all these things are simply thinking with no boundaries, asking the question and being open to the potential of what the magic those answers could lead to, without thinking about the what ifs and the what buts and why nots along the way. That ability to improve both ourselves and everything around us is a magical gift. And by asking magical questions, it unlocks that potential for us. And remember, Roald Dahl said, "Those who don't believe in magic will never find it." So today, maybe let's think about how we might believe in a bit more magic. Magic in terms of what we might be able to achieve ourselves, and also magic in the world around us. When we think about the right questions, Albert Einstein says, "Any fool can ask questions, but it takes a genius to ask the right questions." We all have the gift of being able to ask the right questions. Today, I hope to unlock the magic that's going to give us all. As we think about the best questions, for me, the best questions are open questions. Who, what, how, but not always. When I was 16, I came home with my Leaving Cert results. I was really proud of myself, thought I did really well. My dad was throwing turf into the shed when I came home, and I expected him to say, "Caroline, well done, I'm so proud of you." But instead, he asked me, "And Cars, are you happy?" That question stopped me in my tracks then, and it stops me in my tracks now. He knew that I didn't know what I wanted to do with those results, so they were never going to make me happy. But he asked the right question in the right context at the right time, and he was silent and wanted to hear my answer. That question made me reflect and decide I had a bigger question to answer. And it was an amazing gift to give. The art of asking the right question combined with the art of listening. Magical questions asked in the right question, in the right context, in the right time, can unstick people, untangle their thoughts, give them empathy, give them self-belief. They can unlock somebody and they can bring somebody further to the next step. Powerful, aren't they? Without the art of actively listening, questions don't come to life and we don't maximize their potential. So we really need to master the art of listening as well as the art of asking great questions. And the hard thing about the art of listening is in our busy lives with WhatsApp, social media, and all that busyness, listening requires us to give time and silence to be fully and absolutely present. I think it's really interesting that when you spell listen and you spell silent, they're made up of the same letters. But we're not great at being silent. And if we want great conversations and the art of really listening, we need to really master and get comfortable with being silent. The whole art of conversation is something that we think about to bring clear understanding to our journey. The more we listen, the more we give space to the thought and information that's coming our way, the clearer our understanding is going to become. I'm a mediator, and the power of giving people the opportunity to be truly heard is powerful. We make space and time in mediation to unlock that person's need to be listened to and give them the space to be truly heard. Often people would say things like, Caroline, that's the first time I really feel I've been listened to. Or, Caroline, that's the first time I really feel I've been heard. It's a powerful gift to give somebody, isn't it? Just that ability to make them feel that they've been really heard. It's important also we don't presume and instead we ask. Oftentimes we sketch information, scant information, and make up what we think is what the story is. And instead of falling into that presumption pitfall, it's so much easier to just ask and listen to what is being heard. Us humans are fairly complex, and trying to guess what somebody else is thinking is really difficult, and we often get it wrong as a result. I always say psychic communication doesn't work, which means we're psychically trying to think what that other person is trying to tell us. Instead, think about how we could just simply ask the question and listen to the answer. Much simpler, isn't it? But we don't do it as often as maybe we should. I also believe that there's junctures in our lives that we should press pause and ask ourselves really important questions. One of those junctures in my life was when I got those precious Leaving Cert results. And instead of thinking, what would I do with the results? I should have thought about, what am I good at? What are my natural traits and natural skills? And as a result of which, I would never work a day in my life because I'd be doing a job that I would naturally love and naturally be good at. But sometimes life is so busy, we're on that roller coaster of life, and we forget to press pause and ask those great questions. We all want a positive culture. That feeling that's in the room or in our families, in our work environments when we're not there. It's intangible, but we want it to be as positive as it can be. One easy way to make all of that environment better is just to simply ask, what are we doing well? What do we need to start doing? And what do we need to stop doing? The answer is generally in the room. All we need to do is present great questions and listen to the answers. That's going to bring us to a place of shared understanding. And everybody is going to have that buy-in to bring us to the next stage, which is really exciting as we move there with shared understanding. Great questions also facilitate the most amazing conversations. Lots of you will have heard of emotional intelligence. But for me, emotional intelligence is simply giving empathy, time, and space for somebody to be really listened to and really heard. It's a gift we all have the ability to give. But think about the last time you asked somebody, "How are you?" And think about, did you really actually listen and make space for that answer? Or were you so busy moving on to the next thing that you didn't really give that person the time they deserved to be truly listened to and truly heard? I invite you all from today to use "How are you?" in a much more powerful, meaningful way. Ask people and wait and really want to hear the answer. the gift you will give that person and what you will receive will be bountiful. In the world of WhatsApp, instant messaging, social media, we've very little space for the art of verbal communication, the art of true conversation. And for me, there's nothing more powerful than two people having a real engaged conversation. So I would invite you all to think about how we can reignite the power of true conversation. And in doing so, always start with asking instead of telling. And even when you tell, end with asking. Because asking brings you to learn new things that you never knew you knew. And it's also showing the empathy and interest you have in that really being part of that conversation. I believe in the world that we live in now, instead of learning to multitask, I think we need to learn to singularly task. We need to get good at actively asking great questions and actively making time and space to deeply listen. I hope today you've seen the magic of the art of asking great questions. I hope you'll think about my dad's powerful question, are you happy? It's been a game changer for me every time I ask it. I also hope that you'll remember my grandfather's great saying, that you need 3 bones to enjoy the journey of life. You need a wishbone to dream your dream. You need a backbone to work hard and make it happen. And you need a funny bone to enjoy the lighter side of life. So I invite you all to reflect and think, are you dreaming your dream? Are you working hard to make your dream a reality? Rather than just being busy. And are you enjoying the journey of your one and only life? Because time and tide waits for no one. So today, as you hear those great questions, I, like my grandfather, believe you need to have those 3 bones in equal measure to enjoy the journey of life. I also believe that reigniting the art of asking great questions, making space and time to listen, and making space and time to get back to the art of true conversation will be a game changer in your life. Thank you for listening. Thank you.